If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu Michael, let us allow our viewers watch what transpired at the level of Israeli Knesset, talking about Israeli parliament, how they signed documents with Biafra and the constitution of IPOB. Let us allow them watch. We shall come back to further this conversation. Now, welcome back, Mr. Chinedu Michael. This coming at the time Nigerian government prescribed IPOB, and of course this is mind blowing. How the guy immediate reaction?
Yes, I think there is a direct signal to Asura. They never expected it. Of course, IPOB is only seen as a terrorist organization. It's only seen as a terrorist organization in Nigeria. But outside Nigeria, and nobody can ever, prescribe IPOB as a terrorist organization. IPOB members all over the world are people that you can reach and you can get and you can speak with them, dialogue with them, and there have not been any form of threats of violence against anybody carried out by IPOB. It didn't come to many as a surprise when the Knesset parliament, Israeli parliament, sat down after 50 years, of deliberations. They now decided that it is the right time to begin the process of Biafra recognition. A lot of people do not believe, especially those who are not in the know of what is actually playing out within the global world. I used to say it very clearly, when I listened to the Prime Minister of Israel, the very first time we saw him address the issues in Nigeria. I also listened to him when he made a very courteous visit to the United States President Donald Trump, and he made it very clearly that apart from Iran, and of course how to get everything in place in Gaza, there are other things that were being discussed that will be made public any moment from now, especially on the issue of protecting Christians all over the world, and anything they can do, technology-wise, whatever they can use, whichever means they can use to protect Christians all over the world, that Israel will not relent to do that. But coming to the development that we saw that actually went viral all over the world, and remember, nations are concentrating on Israel now. People want to hear what is happening in Israel, and they choose a very peculiar time for the parliament to deliberate on issue. And to an extent, I learned that there were documents that were also backed up or signed by the likes of Yaakov Magi. Yes, that's the name of the guy there, Yaakov Magi, Raphael Aviv, who actually pioneered the address on Biafra and of course an IPOB.
In that Israeli Knesset, talking about the parliament, we saw a young boy, of course, a Biafra. It looks like Antonio Gallo reincarnating in their parliament. A young boy was recognized who went at the parliamentarians in recognition of somebody who represented Biafra at that level. And he's too young. Does it mean we are seeing another leader coming up?
No, of course. In case you that what Martin Kano has left behind, the legacies he put in place, the structures he put in place, are already working. And when Martin Kano was telling the whole world they cannot be able to infiltrate IPOB is all over the world. It's all in every nation of the world. What you are seeing coming from that young man gives you an insight, that no matter how you look at it, you cannot predict the IPOB. It will take anybody 250 years for you to break into the ranks of IPOB. And that is coming from Martin Namdekan. So that young man you actually saw there, right there in the chambers of the Knesset Israeli parliament, it tells you how far that the Hebrews or the Biafrans can go to get recognized within the powerful nations of the world.
And just for purpose of clarity, our viewers, the video you are seeing on the screen is a young man standing up to wave at the parliamentarians. Of course, you can see how young he is. This is, of course, exciting. But Mr. Chinedu Michael, beyond this, part of the resolution is that the Israeli government should, going forward, go and push Biafra narrative, agitation to the world. I think this is making Biafra to sprung up in every aspect of the world.
Immediately the news broke, there was a eruption of jubilation. People were jubilating. There's a mass celebration all over the world. People are already talking about it. And one of the strongest nation in the world, and discussing the presence of Biafra in the world. It is a direct signal to anybody that cares to know of what is about to come. What is about to come. And you cannot tell me that something is happening without the consent of the Israeli government. Of course, I can tell you in honest truth that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is deeply having access to information pertaining Biafrans and their activities, IPOB, including Mazin Namdekan. I remember, I listened to Maggie very clearly. He mentioned Mazin Namdekan. He also referred to 1967 Holocaust, and what they are going through up to this moment, and the need for to hesitate and make sure that the sovereignty of Biafra is acknowledged by the Israeli government. And that is the position of the MK, Yaakov Magdi, who made it very clearly there. I want to say a big thank you to the woman too, Raphael Aviv, who also stood in the parliament, making it very clear that the Israeli government cannot stand behind and watch what is going on without doing anything about it. And the Prime Minister himself has also signaled, the intervention of what is actually playing out, in Nigeria, where we are experiencing genocide, where Christians are being attacked on daily basis. The news broke to Mazin Namdekan not as a surprise, because he knows that what he has actually put in place. But the narrative we are getting very clearly, that they are about to put pressure, on whoever to immediately release Mazin Namdekan, because his presence is needed to formalize negotiations about the coming of Biafra any moment from now. The world we are going to pronounce it. The whole world, the world leaders are going to pronounce and back and support the Biafra struggle at the end of the day.
Mr. Akinadumake, I was going to talk about the Nnamdi angle to him, because I understand that his name prominently
consistently being mentioned.
Yes. But let me bring this angle, because a monarch from the southeast part of the country was very bold, emphatic in a gathering recently, where he told Mr. President to the face that Nnamdi is a counterpart of Sunday, and that as we have it, that the only idea is planning to confer a very prestigious honor on the man Sunday. That is pained that Nnamdi see the Sokoto. He was emphatic, telling Mr. President, do something. Let me get a reaction. That man had come a talk of the
yes, I good that he has thrown that dirt on the president of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, signaling on questioning where integrity lies, where the justice lies, how and they conspired, to jail Mazin Namdekan, and of course leaving Sunday Igboho to be roaming around, and other people who are involved in disaliving many people within the Nigerian space. So it comes. I think the president did not actually expect it. He didn't see it coming. But let me take you by his words. Exactly how the man actually put it, to tell you that Igbos are aware of what is going on in Nigeria. They are very, very sensitive. Meaning that they are keeping quiet. Does not mean that they don't know what is actually going on. He's very clear. I can quote him. His Royal Majesty, Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife, who is about to confer a very prestigious honor on Sunday Igboho, who many from the eastern part of the country see as Mazin Nnamdi Kanu's counterpart. He is not here. He is in Sokoto. Mr. President, can you return this man to Kenya or London, where you people picked him from?
What does the president want him in Nigeria?
It's not, he has not told you clearly, that if you don't want him in Nigeria, mark that word. If you don't want him in Nigeria, what is still telling him that, whether you like it or not, I've just told you the position of the injustice you deliberately carried against Martin Nnamdi Kanu. It was a calculated injustice that actually asked you with switching again. What do you make of this man's boldness? Because it's a time of the day. Of course, today he has become the hero of all the monarchs in Biafra land. He's been celebrated for the courage, for the intelligence, for the wisdom, and of course for that crafty presentation before all the traditional rulers in Nigeria, where the president is also seated. Unfortunately, it ignited. Would I call that smile or laugh from Mr. President after he has
ultimately Mr. President clapped when he made the final statement that said that do something about the needs of Nnamdi Kanu.
He clapping because he told him very clearly that the man you jailed and left so Igboho, who in our own side of the region, we see him as Sunday Igboho's counterpart. Now why would you play out this deliberate injustice against Martin?
Okay, let's look at the second leg to what the man is. Because the man equally reminded the president that in the southern part of the country, there is nothing like Southern Traditional Rulers Council. That is only in the north you can have that. Remember that as well in the north, the son of Sokoto is perhaps the leader of the traditional rulers in the north. Then according to the man, that if you want to deal with any traditional ruler, any locality in the south, in the southeast, in Biafra land, deal with the people independently because democracy is by representation. This part is a democracy. Let us get on there.
Yes, because it was a manipulative. If you look at it very well, and there was no wider consultation on the gathering, or possibly with that organization that Oni of Ife was actually projected was not even registered. The man got to know that there was something like Southern, which he said he has never had before. That if they are forming such group that to collect money, he had no day. As simple as that. He told the Oni of Ife, but he goes to tell you how manipulative the traditional institution is.
So it was a diplomatic way to co-opt them into an organization they are not regular.
If they are planning such thing as a forum to campaign for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you understand? And the man is saying that there was no proper consultation. He got to hear about it here, and the only people went as far as defending it. That if you don't want to be part of it, you can opt out. He can tell you that there's no connection, there's no synergy, there's no chemistry between the Biafrans and Nigeria. As simple as that. And it is clearly written, and you can look at it very clearly. What the man was saying is nothing but the truth. He said it very clearly that if Bola Ahmed Tinubu want to deal with such situation, that he should deal with the region directly and forget this unrepresentative democratic traditional leaders that only interested on what goes into their pocket, using other people as a stooge. That's a great man.
That going forward, I think what we are likely going to see is the president is going to be circumspect to the extent that if you want to deal with traditional ruler for the size of the country, that Biafra plan, he must go to them directly.
Of course, very clearly. That's not very clearly. And the man, I think, he has told them the whole truth, and it's a direct signal. And he's telling them too. Bola Ahmed Tinubu to forget about enjoying any vote from South-East. The reason is very clear. The man stated very clearly that the youth of the eastern part of the country are seeing their leaders as sellouts.
Yes.
They are betrayers because of what is going on. But all of a second, the man has suddenly become a hero. Honestly, yes, he has become a reference point. He has become a clear, real identity of what an Igbo leader represent, or what an Igbo monarch represent. Fearless, courageous, intelligent, and precise.
I must say that those are the words that define the man actually, because this man has been able to exemplify himself. I must say that Mr. Chinedu, that some of my associates out of the country have already started reaching out to me, sending even the message to me, not knowing that I want it, telling me that we still have people like this in Nigeria. And of course, I'm even surprised that we have people who are both.
Let me just dive in a little bit into this man's profile. From Enugu State, His Royal Majesty. Let me just give him that honor. It's a privilege. He was a former ambassador, a well-read diplomat. Which they also know his contributions when he was holding the ambassadorial position on behalf of Nigeria. He's well lettered, and you can see, he presented his part of opinion, very, very accurate. I think to an extent, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's conscience will be biting him at this point, because the video has gone viral all over the world now, and people are asking questions.
I will tell you that even the president unconsciously responded in the way that if you go back to watch the video, you know that this man took it by surprise.
I don't know, he swept him completely out of from the ground, because they didn't see it coming. Because he has looked at them very well. That this is the only thing. If it is the only thing I have to legacy I have to leave behind as contribution, or for my own struggle to Biafran agitation in Nigeria, and I have to take that position. He looked at them, he praised them, he called them Imperial Majesty, who are bent on injustice, who are clearly whose clear path are on the manipulative side, where you see, if you look at it too, if you begin to digest exactly what that man said, one, you notice injustice there, you notice tribalism there, you notice conspiracy there, you notice attack, and you notice hatred. All this is pointing towards one man. So it was a clear, Martin on the Cano's sentence, imprisonment was a clear gang up, and unfortunately, Bola Ahmed Tinubu had to take those shots unexpectedly.
I think I must say very thank you. This is a development story. We want to have you next time to further this conversation. Then for now, you have done justice to this. I must say very thank you.